The exhaustion in Emma's eyes was unmistakable as she collapsed onto her small apartment couch after another grueling 12-hour shift at the hospital. As a 25-year-old critical care nurse, her days were filled with life-or-death decisions, endless charting, and the emotional weight of caring for the sickest patients. The sterile smell of the hospital still clung to her scrubs, and her feet ached from hours of running between rooms, administering medications, and providing comfort to families in crisis. It was in this moment of rare quiet that her phone buzzed with a message that would shatter her peace entirely. Her sister Maya, 29, was reaching out with news that would change both their lives forever. Maya was scheduled for rib removal surgery in January, a procedure so specialized and controversial that no doctor in their home country would perform it for non-medical reasons. The surgery itself was just the beginning of what would be a long, painful journey requiring months of careful recovery, limited mobility, and constant medical attention. "I need you to be my caregiver," Maya had said during their phone call, her voice carrying that familiar tone of expectation that Emma had heard throughout their childhood. "It could be up to 4 months, maybe longer. I don't really know the exact timeline, but you're perfect for this because you're a nurse." Emma's heart sank as she looked around her tiny one-bedroom apartment. The space that barely accommodated her own needs would somehow need to house 2 adults, one of whom would require extensive medical care, assistance with basic daily activities, and potentially round-the-clock monitoring during the initial recovery period. Maya's reasoning seemed logical on the surface. Their parents, now in their 60s, had recently moved into a senior living community designed for people over 50. "They can't handle this because of their age," Maya explained, as if the decision was already made. "And besides, you're a critical care nurse. You know exactly what to do." But that was precisely the problem. Emma spent every working day surrounded by beeping monitors, administering complex medications, managing ventilators, and watching families say goodbye to loved ones. Her expertise came at a cost: the emotional and physical exhaustion that followed her home each night, the way her hands sometimes shook from adrenaline even hours after leaving the hospital, the dreams filled with alarms and emergency codes. The thought of transforming her sanctuary into another medical facility, of having no escape from the responsibilities that already consumed her professional life, felt suffocating. Her small apartment was her refuge, the one place where she could shed the weight of being responsible for other people's lives and simply exist as herself. "I can't do it," Emma had finally said, her voice barely above a whisper but firm with conviction. Maya's response was swift and cutting. "If you don't help me, I'll have to hire strangers, professional caregivers who don't know me, who don't care about me the way family should." The guilt was expertly applied, each word designed to make Emma feel selfish for prioritizing her own well-being. The accusation hung in the air between them. Maya painted a picture of herself vulnerable and alone, surrounded by hired help instead of loving family, as if Emma's refusal was an act of betrayal rather than self-preservation. The implication was clear. A good sister would sacrifice her own comfort, her own space, her own mental health for family. But Emma knew the reality that Maya seemed to ignore. After 12-hour shifts managing critical patients, dealing with life and death situations, and carrying the emotional burden of other families' tragedies, she barely had energy left for herself. The idea of coming home to more medical care, more responsibility, more of the very work that was already consuming her life felt like drowning. Her one-bedroom apartment wasn't just too small physically. It was too small emotionally for the weight of what Maya was asking. Emma needed space to decompress, to process the trauma she witnessed daily, to exist without someone depending on her for their very survival. Standing in her tiny kitchen, looking at the single bed that would somehow need to accommodate a major surgery patient, Emma realized that saying no wasn't selfish. It was necessary. She couldn't pour from an empty cup, couldn't provide quality care when she was already running on fumes. Some boundaries aren't negotiable, even when family tries to guilt you into crossing them. Sometimes the most loving thing you can do is recognize your own limitations before they become dangerous for everyone involved. What do you think? Is Emma wrong for refusing to be her sister's caregiver? Or does she have the right to protect her own mental health and space? Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below.